What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dune Awakening guide. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the overland testing station, the Old Quarry. This is one of the tougher PvE labs currently available in the game. It just came out in the most recent patch, as of the recording of this video. If you've been struggling with clearing a dungeon, dealing with the lockout rooms, or taking down the boss efficiently, this guide should help you get through it much more consistently. I'll be covering the complete build that I use for this run, including my equipment, weapons, armor, and abilities, and techniques. Then we'll jump into a full playthrough of the lab where I'll explain the techniques and strategies I use against the various enemies, as well as the boss at the end to clear the lab. We'll also break down the boss fight itself, including positioning, ability uses, and technique. That'll make the encounter much easier to manage when you're running either solo or with a group. If you're looking for a more reliable way to clear the Old Quarry and improve your performance inside the Overland testing station, make sure to stick around, as I'll be doing a full live walkthrough and commentary of the lab itself at level 40. Alright, so let's dive right into it. The first thing we want to go through is our abilities and techniques. For this particular encounter, we're going to be looking at a couple different setups for both the ads and the boss. Typically, you're going to be wanting to run Compel for both the boss and ad clear throughout the lockout rooms. Weirding Step is also really helpful for taking out the ads and engaging the enemies. And then you can either use Cripple Strike or Knee Charge for your third ability when you're trying to clear the lockout rooms. Technique-wise, I say this for a lot of my different build videos, but you can either use Suspense Dash, you can use really anything for this flex option over here for passive techniques. I mean, Battle Hard is not really going to come into play until the boss fight itself, but some people use Reckless Lunge. If your shield goes down, you can level that to level 3 for the technique. It's very helpful for damage mitigation. Center Mass is a must, of course, and then Manipulate Instability is also a must for the extra damage. We're going to be using this both for our melee attacks and also for our Ancient Way that we're going to be using for the ads, the boss fight. Those are the core techniques and abilities, guys, we're going to be using. As far as the boss fight goes, we're going to be swapping out Weirding Step for Collapse Grenade, and we're going to also take Inspiration for the extra melee damage when we engage with the boss. So the reason behind this is because blade damage, melee damage is just awesome in this encounter. It's great to have your shield up. The boss is a pretty easy fight when you use a melee weapon, especially the dual blades, which I'll go into in more greater detail. And Compel is great for crowd controlling the boss, as well as the ads, as I mentioned before. But that's the rationale behind our setup right here. Next up, guys, let's go through a list of passives and everything listed off in the build. So some of the important things that I use are the extra heavy weapon damage. You can ignore the scatter down damage for this particular lab. You don't really need to use the scatter gun. But we're going to have points in our Suspensor Efficiency, Collapse Grenade, Suspensor Dash, as I mentioned. Battle Hardened is really helpful for when we're going to be fighting the boss, to have our Collapse Grenade on a shorter cooldown. And then on the Mentat tree, we're only really going to focus on getting the range damage over here, as well as Garment Keeper for our armor. For Planetologists, we're really only interested in Sustain, so that's going to mean putting points into Overcharge and rerouting. And then moving on over to the Bene Gesserit trees, we're going to be using Weirding Step, points into short blade damage. This time I'm going to be using Leech's Maw. If you're using a long blade, like the Replica Pulse Sword, don't put points into this. Instead, just focus on putting points into blade damage over here, as well as Manipulate and Stability. And then we're going to be putting points into Voice Training and Compel over here for a shorter cooldown for Compel. And lastly, we're going to be putting points into Recovery, Self-Healing, and Vitality over here as our main bread and butter as far as sustainment. On the Blade Master tree, we're going to be putting points into blade damage. We're going to be having points in Solid Stance. We're going to also be putting points into General Conditioning, Cripple Strike, as I mentioned before, Optimize Hydration, Inspiration. We can put 3 points into Knee Charge, guys, if you like to use Knee Charge versus Cripple Strike. Personally, I like to put Cripple Strike on the bar versus Knee Charge because if I'm running this lab, sometimes I'll run with a duo and you get more ad spawns. And if you get engaged by 2 or 3 enemies at a time, having that AoE on Cripple Strike is very helpful to get the stagger off and get a slow blade or heavy attacks on them. So, but if you see yourself running it solo, Knee Charge has a shorter cooldown and a smaller stamina cost. As you can see, it has a lot of poise damage, so it's very helpful to take out an enemy when you use that instead. So those are the abilities, techniques, and the passives, guys. Next up, let's go over our armor and weapons. So as far as our armor and weapons go, guys, there's a few options we can do for this lab. Typically speaking, you're going to be wanting to run pincushion for the helmet, pincushion for the boots, and pincushion for the gauntlets. You can switch out circuit gauntlets if you have them. I run X-Core leggings. You can also wear pincushion for these legs as well. As far as the chest piece go, this is going to be a personal choice as far as what you have available. You can either run a pincushion chest piece, or you can run the new combat exoskeleton chest piece that drops on this lab. I personally just put together a grade 4 piece when I got this initially off the lab clears that I have, and I've been running it ever since. It gives you that extra 10% melee damage, which can be pretty helpful to get you over the threshold if you're right around trying to one-shot enemies at a level 40 clear, for example. The X-Core leggings, I choose these over the pincushion because it gives you that 1 extra dodge, typically. The combat exoskeleton chest piece takes away 1 dodge since it's heavy armor, so it kind of balances itself out as far as how much our stamina is going to be managed over here of these pieces. As far as the augments go, guys, I typically will run at least double dart mitigation when I can for these pieces, or if you don't have all the dart mitigation pieces, put some points for the armor increase as well, the garment reinforcement with the dart mitigation. It's going to still give you some decent stats to tank some hits if your shield does go down, and then at which lab level you're running it at. But as far as our weapons go, I'm running a triple augmented Ancient Way. I have a capacity expander on it that is rolled as a 50. For those that don't have a 50% yet as the capacity expander for your Ancient Way, just keep at it. You're going to want to level your crafting to 100 or have one of your friends roll your augments to achieve that 50%. There is, I believe, a 1 out of 5 chance to roll a God roll for the capacity expander, but there's 2 stats on the capacity expander. One is the power consumption, one is the actual capacity. So it's really a smaller probability to get that God roll and get 50%. But if you do get lucky, you can get a double Ancient Way. We're also putting on heavy payload and heavy caliber on the Ancient Way to get us up to a nice 5k damage profile for each shot. So this is going to clear our ads pretty efficiently up to a very high level. We're also going to be running Leech's Maw. This is triple augmented as well. You can put on any damage augments you have, but typically going to want to use Heavy Blade Adjuster, Edge Optimizer, and Blade Sharpener. You can also use the new damage augment that dropped from this lab itself. I believe that's also something called Heavy Blade. Off the top of my head, I'm blanking out here. But run one of those damage augments and it'll be very helpful. The reason why we're running Leech's Maw versus Burning Blades is because Burning Blades does a fire dot that can interrupt our compel when we're trying to crowd control the boss or NPCs. It really does a minimal amount of added damage too with the fire damage, so we chose Leech's Maw instead for that straight damage, where we don't have any dots that are going to interrupt us with our CCs, and we can kill the boss or the enemies without any problems. So that's the armor weapons, guys. Let's go through next a walkthrough of the dungeon itself, where I'll be doing a level 40 clear commentary as far as how to do it efficiently.
I see you, interloper. Did Linga Butte send you? Are you the advanced scout of a cleanup crew? Once we served the water shippers, but no longer. We've evolved past that. Whatever your purpose, my message is the same.
Alright guys, so for this first room, if you're doing this solo, you're gonna have 2 rangers spawn, melee ad. Typically you're gonna want to target one of the rangers first so they don't try to beam you while you're trying to kill the melee. The melee will usually creep out about halfway through, trying to clear the second ranger. As you see, take out the melee guy, and then finish off the ranger. The ads on every phase are random as far as where they spawn, but they're going to get a set amount as far as the type, so just keep that in mind. I recommend taking out the rangers as soon as possible if they spawn near you, because they can do a lot of damage to your shield.
Reloading!
Hell really offers a great time period to reset, so if you get stuck without stamina like I was right there, you can just use Compel. We got lucky here with the melee ad spawning right next to us, so they take them out quickly. That offers us just enough time to get all of our slow blades off at level 40. Even if since we have max combat and max sabotage, we're able to about two-shot melee rusher. And same thing for the heavy over there. We have just enough of a window to take out the heavy before we get that stun. When I'm using the dual blades, I'm typically leading off a light attack, going into the heavy combo. You're going to be able to take out the ranger at level 40 if you have all the max stats pretty easily. Now if you wanted the speed run, this is where you'd be spamming Suspensor Dash. In my case, I'm kind of just strolling along, taking my time. But if you're trying to shave off about 20 seconds, there's this long hallway where Suspensor Dash comes in handy.
Phew, ignored my warning. Now
What I typically do for this is I will compel one of them and reset the other. It gives you just enough time to take out both of them while they're still in the stun line.
What they see, I see. What they taste, I taste. Take the interloper, now!
The nice thing about the dual blades is its charge attack does a little bit more damage than longsword. Using that against the abominations. It's also a great way to stun the rangers over there to get a combo off on them. The longsword works just as fine, but the dual blades is always a little bit better to get a faster time to kill. Also style points. Whenever I still have a ranger on me, guys, try to get great line of sight for a little bit so the guy doesn't move the pole. Clip off on me so my shield doesn't go down. At really high levels, you're going to want to focus on them a little bit more. Level 40, pretty manageable on that. lot of abominations as well as the heavy to spawn when you're solo. What I typically will do is I'll take out the ads first, the abominations that are around me, use them a little bit, break line of sight with heavy, child heavy, and then since the abominations are slow, I'll take out the heavy first, and then finish off the abominations after. Dual blades are great with these long, sweeping attacks. It takes out the abominations pretty quickly, so if you run into situations where you have all of them around you, that's where they come in handy.
How dare you? How dare you look upon my work? You have not achieved what I have achieved. Sacrificed what I have sacrificed. Just a tourist. Profaning genius. This is all mine.
Now, as you can see, guys, I'm swapping around my abilities a little bit for this fight, using Collapse Grenade, Inspiration, and Compel. I'm typically going to be spamming Inspiration whenever I can to get that extra melee damage. Now, I'm not going to be the best in this playthrough with my Collapse Grenade and the Ancient Way, as you're going to see in a couple moments. But it doesn't mean that the whole run is going to be ruined if you miss an Ancient Way or a Collapse Grenade. So, just keep that in mind. As you can see, I got a little bit overzealous as far as trying to get up in the air and get off my rocket, and the abomination threw a rock at me, so I screwed up timing a little bit, but that's okay. We still made it work as far as getting our range way off, taking out some of the ads here.
Ammunition!
And because we have those long sweeping attacks, guys, we're able to basically clear the abominations pretty quickly at level 40 with all of our damage modifiers, even if we're not using the Ancient Way.
Subject suffers delusions of adequacy.
Keep in mind, she's going to go through her rotation of either trying to heal herself or summon her ads about every 30 seconds or so. Now you can prevent this by phasing her if you get a break between animation. What I try to do is I try to apply pressure to her and maintain damage so that she can get staggered. That will prevent her from using her abilities. Every so often she's going to jump around and try to get out of your line of sight. What you want to do is try to clear her ads along the way, if you haven't already with the Ancient Way and the Collapse Grenade, and try to get behind her and the enemies, so you can get a little bit of distance between the two of them. In this case, I didn't have my Ancient Way reloaded, so I kind of flubbed it a little bit, but we're still in a good spot since most of the ants are already dead. Now, prepare for a little bit until she spawns more of them. As you can see, if he does get a heal off, it's not the end of the world. Especially if it's only one of the ads.
I require more.
I'm using Compel here to reset her a little bit, get some more stamina back. I'm going to stagger her. To regain their stamina a little bit quicker, guys. Just something to keep in mind. They've had that in the game for a while. Most people don't use it.
Subject suffers unnecessarily.
reloaded, guys, we would have been able to probably take out all these guys. Oh, but fortunately for me, it just didn't happen with a bunch of cards. Thankfully, she ran away from all of her ads, so we could just take her out anyway and start finishing off the fight.
Reloading.
Access granted.
There it is, guys. That's a clear of it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to hear your thoughts and feedback in the comments below. Tune in for the next video. I'll be doing playthroughs and clear-throughs of all the other dungeons in the coming videos, as well as some other tips and tricks along the way. Have fun in the sands.